Belt, Maryland area, and went out to beautiful Minneapolis. And we want to acknowledge from Minneapolis the beautiful flowers that they sent, just because not all of them could be here, but we do have a very vocal representative. I'm also very happy to say that we have a wonderful representative from the university, and I'd like to bring up Kathy to talk with us for a little bit.
Thank you, Rita. Lisa's making sure connections are made, which you'll get to know is one of her great strengths. But yes, all of Minnesota would love to be here, and I feel fortunate to be one of the ones that's here. And when I've never told anybody this, and now I'm telling this room of people that I've just met, but I didn't know all about your great accomplishments. And if I'd known that, I might have been intimidated, because I got a D in gym in 4th grade. So, I mean, we would have bonded over the Oreo thing. I've met Lisa later than most of you, just in the past 2.5 years. I didn't know anything about her other than that a friend of mine had used her as a babysitter, and then a friend in the neighborhood, the Hansons, in Gaithersburg, I think. So, true to form, the first time I met Lisa, she already was introducing me to new things about my own state. I lived there for 35 years. I worked at the University of Minnesota. She was the first person to invite me to a women's basketball game. And we had a great time, and then here I am, the long-standing Minnesota citizen, wanting to welcome Lisa. She's introducing me to Judge Montgomery and a few of her other friends, and that just is the beginning, because Lisa always ended up knowing all sorts of people. So when I think about Lisa, one of the things, I think she's the consummate coach. I'm thinking back about my athletic history. Lisa did really the impossible. She got me to exercise in Minnesota in the winter. And you may have followed the news the last couple of years. We've had some cold and snowy winters. And there was one Saturday morning, it was the perfect day to sit inside, read a book, look out at the snow, and the phone rings. Lisa, let's go snowshoeing. I've never been snowshoeing. Neither have you, I don't think. But we headed out to the golf course and made a new path through the over the hills and through a golf course and had a great time. And then Lisa said, well, would you like to walk sometime? Well, I took that like, yeah, the way my women friends walk to coffee. And so you have an idea what I was getting into, but I had the perfect excuse. It's getting dark by 4:30. Not a problem. Lisa knows every skyway in the city of Minneapolis. And for those of you that haven't been there, there's a network of these above ground skyways and buildings and paths that most of us don't know how to get more than from our car to our office. And Lisa could track a 5-mile route pretty easily. We were in every corner of the city. We were places I hadn't been before. It was just great. And then, but being the true coach that she was, she knew the hook for me. And that was, and we'll stop and have coffee or a snack. So it was like a huge hunt for a coffee shop or a place for sandwiches. I think of Lisa not only as a coach, but as a great connector. I've met some of the most wonderful people. Some are in the room here, others in Minnesota, through Lisa. We'd go for a walk around Lake of the Isles, which is the lake that Mary Tyler Moore was shown walking around in the show. And here again, I'm showing Lisa the ropes, but we stopped and talked to Jenny, who's here, and she's running the lake. And then we stop when we see somebody else that she knows, Then another time, this was just in May, we go to Brugger's. The Brugger's people know her. And, it's like, I've never had a person, serve me my bagel and then, know what I wanted next time. But Lisa's the great connector with all sorts of people. And places in Minnesota, she'd come back and tell me, you've got to go to Gooseberry Falls and Split Rock Bike House, and really just brought so much energy. And then the third thing I'm thinking about is Lisa's a catalyst. And this was I met Lisa through these friends. We did our walking and a lot of fun things. And then she said she wanted to do something to help breast cancer research at the University of Minnesota, which is where I work. And I said, that'd be really nice, let's do that sometime. And one day Lisa said, now, Kathy, I mean now. And so that started a whole nother connection for us, and that is to establish the Lisa Rosenthal Fund and for metastatic breast cancer research. And we're so grateful on behalf of the university for what many of you have helped make possible and what you have driven to make this possible. And there's some pictures out on the wall there. It's great. And it's specific for metastatic because that's where so much research is needed. And we have some pictures on the wall out in the lobby there of Lisa with a man in a blue shirt. And there's one where they're posed nicely together. And then there's one where Lisa's like doing. And I think that's when she was saying, well, lunch is over, you better get back to the lab. This is Dr. Hui, who's doing the initial award from the Rosenthal Fund for metastatic breast cancer. So that work continues. We're grateful to you. But most of all, I'm grateful for that you would spend those 2+ years in Minnesota. And I just feel like going back to Miss Foley, my 4th grade teacher, and say, watch this. And I can see me walking and snowshoeing and doing all sorts of great things. So thank you, Lisa.